The greatest obstacles for me were time and not feeling like I was really the right guy for the job.
Actually, just working through the processes and the paperwork of things here in the U.S.
Time, wondering about if I had enough time to do this and to do it well.
Just coming up with a team, we thought maybe our church was too small since it was a brand new church plant.
Whether or not we had the resources to help this family flourish in America. One of the big obstacles is the financial commitment and what that's going to look like, and will we be able to meet that aspect of it. Refugee Life Ministries did a great job at just showing us what is required and helping to get the family into the apartment. And really, as that was broken down for us, it looked so much more possible than just a dollar number. And pretty soon, that obstacle wasn't an obstacle anymore, it just meant elbow grease.
Perhaps my biggest question or concern was, do I have time for this? And I didn't want to take on something and then do it half-heartedly. So far what I've found is just like in every other way in our lives, God provides. He provides the resources we need. He also provides the time that we need to do ministry.
I think the thing that surprised us first was this welcome kit, which sounds like this little something that we're going to put together, and we looked at this huge list and thought, oh, this is really a big welcome kit to furnish an apartment for a family. And I know we thought, how in the world are we going to collect all of this stuff? Well, each of my team members just started working with their networks of people, whether it was at their workplace or their family and friends. And it was amazing to see how all of that came in. And so I think even though we thought it was going to be an obstacle, it was really just an affirmation of how God was going to provide and was going to take care of us along the way, but to really take care of our family.
The challenges for me were what kind of time commitment would be involved. Knowing my gifts are not necessarily in the leadership roles of ministries. I excel in the helping side of it, coming alongside of the ministry and participating in it, not necessarily being the leader or the catalyst behind it. As I went through that and used that as my excuse, it finally came to a point of I felt the need to do something beyond myself. And Refugee Life Ministry was something that came about at that time and was an opportunity to do that.
Through this experience, our faith in God has grown in a lot of different ways. I think the first one is just trusting Him with this family and just watching God provide for those that He loves. So even if we felt that we weren't able to accomplish something or we felt stressed out about something, it would all of a sudden just be taken care of. And He's shown Himself in many ways through this family.
We came into this not knowing what to expect, and I think it's really drawn us closer together as we've had to rely on God. We've really sought Him for wisdom as we've walked through this. It's new to us, and we didn't have all the answers, which I think is a good thing. We need to rely on God, but I think it's showing our family too that we also rely on God and that we don't have everything figured out. So hopefully they're seeing in us just the confidence that we have gained through this process.
You put that first step out and you start to realize, wow, I'm still standing, and so you take another step, and sort of like Peter on the water, you're like, wow, this thing really works, that we're placing our trust, we're partnering with the heart of God because we already know this is on God's heart. So as we take one step after another, just partnering with God's heart, we start to find out that, wow, this is incredible because He's going to keep blessing it. Maybe it's not always blessing it the way we think He's going to bless it, but He does. And it's impacting for the body that's involved in it because it's raising everybody's faith.
This is the first time our church has ever done anything with people of different cultures since we are so small. So I think it's opened up a lot of people's eyes to see just God working in different cultures and that He's just not a God of the United States, but He's a God of the entire world and of all nations.
Partnering with Refugee Life Ministries is such a healthy way to help a refugee family, because not only are you getting some great cultural training, but you're also having clear leadership and guidelines and direction on how best to help a family.
I'd encourage someone to get involved, just because as I try to love God and love others, that I realized I didn't know what to do, but I just stepped out and God provided and equipped for me, and I know He will do that for you too.
One of the greatest things that has happened to me doing this, I went over to the family's house to tutor, and the mom just looks at me and says, "I miss you and I will never forget you." And that's something that you'll never forget, and it touches your heart forever.